The world has once again been reminded of the fleeting nature of life and the unshakable bonds of family, as we bid farewell to Rahaman Ali, the younger brother of boxing legend Muhammad Ali. The news of Rahaman's passing has sent waves of sorrow through fans of the Ali family, boxing historians, and those who followed his quieter but impactful life in the shadow of the greatest, announced solemnly by the Muhammad Ali Center. Rahaman's death was confirmed on a somber Saturday, stating that he had passed the day before. Though the cause of his death was not immediately disclosed, the depth of loss felt by those who knew him, whether personally or through his words and stories, is undeniable. Rahaman Ali was more than just the brother of Muhammad Ali. He was a man of character, warmth, and humility who carved his own path while never straying too far from the orbit of the man who changed the face of sports and civil rights. Born as Rudolph Valentino Clay in Louisville, Kentucky, just like his older brother Rahaman grew up in the same house, under the same roof, nourished by the same values of faith, courage, and dignity that would later define their adult lives. The brothers were inseparable throughout their childhood and into their adult years, bonded not just by blood but by a profound spiritual and emotional connection. While Muhammad Ali soared to global fame, captivating the world with his poetic bravado, athleticism, and unapologetic activism, Rahaman stood by him through it all, not in the limelight, but in the quiet, essential space just outside of it. His presence was constant. He was Muhammad's confidant, his sparring partner, his defender, his grounding force, and, at times, even his mirror reflecting the more human, unfiltered moments of the legend known to millions. In the 1960s, as Muhammad rose to become heavyweight champion of the world and began making headlines for his religious conversion, his refusal to serve in the Vietnam War, and his unyielding voice in the civil rights movement, Rahaman was right there with him, not just as a brother, but as a fighter in his own right. Rahaman embarked on a professional boxing career that spanned from 1964 to 1972, compiling a record that, while modest compared to his brother's historic achievements, nonetheless proved that boxing talent ran in the Clay bloodline. But more than his record or number of knockouts, Rahaman's greatest triumph was his loyalty. His fights may have been fewer, but his dedication to his family, especially to Muhammad, was unrelenting. Those who followed Rahaman's life know that his relationship with Muhammad Ali was one of extraordinary depth. The Muhammad Ali Center poignantly described him as his brother's biggest supporter, a title that could never be challenged. Through the turbulent highs and lows of Muhammad's life, his exile from boxing, his triumphant return, his decline from Parkinson's disease, Rahaman remained by his side. He was more than a brother. He was a witness to greatness, a keeper of memories, a gentle guardian of legacy. In later years, Rahaman took it upon himself to honor his brother's memory in the most authentic way possible by sharing his perspective, stories, and reflections in writing. He authored 2 notable books. The first, That's Muhammad Ali's Brother, My Life on the Undercard 2014, offered an honest glimpse into what it was like to live in the shadow of a cultural icon. It was a story of humility, of love without jealousy, and of a man who learned to find fulfillment not in fame but in family. His second book, My Brother, Muhammad Ali, The Definitive Biography 2019, was even more ambitious. In it, Rahaman chronicled his brother's life in a way only someone so close could. He stripped away the myth and reminded readers of the human being at the core of the legend, the brother he grew up with, laughed with, cried with. In one of the most touching tributes following Rahaman's passing, Muhammad Ali's daughter, Hannah Ali, shared a heartfelt message paired with a selfie of the two. Her words painted a picture of a man who was not only adored by his brother but deeply cherished by the entire Ali family. She called him a sweet, gentle soul with a heart as big as the world. A sentiment that reflected how Rahaman was perceived by those fortunate enough to know him. Hannah's tribute also underscored the rare bond between Muhammad and Rahaman, one that transcended even death. Layla Ali, Muhammad's youngest daughter and a boxing champion in her own right, also mourned her uncle's death. Her words were steeped in love and remembrance. My father loved his brother Rahaman so deeply. They are now back in the arms of their beloved parents. May they all rest in eternal peace together. It was a simple but profound reflection, reminding us all of the familial circle that binds us in life and in death. When Muhammad Ali passed away in 2016 at the age of 74 due to respiratory complications brought on by Parkinson's, the world stopped to mourn a hero. In the midst of the global tribute, Rahaman was there, stoic, emotional, and utterly heartbroken. He had lost not just a brother, but a lifelong companion, a part of himself. The loss was unimaginable, and yet Rahaman carried on, dedicating the remaining years of his life to preserving his brother's legacy. His appearances at public events, interviews, and even quiet visits to the Muhammad Ali Center were acts of devotion, love manifest in memory. Now, at the age of 82, Rahaman Ali has reunited with his brother. There is something poetic, cosmic about the idea of these two brothers, separated by time and death, now being together again. One soared across the world, changing lives with his fists and words. The other followed behind, not in pursuit of glory, but in service of love. Their bond was unshakable, and now it is eternal. Rahaman's death may not come with the same public mourning as his brother's, but to those who understand the story of Muhammad Ali, his passing is no less significant. Behind every great man is often someone quiet, someone steadfast, someone who asks for no credit but gives everything. That was Rahaman. His legacy may be quieter, but it is no less worthy of respect and remembrance. He was not just Muhammad Ali's brother. He was a man of purpose, of compassion, of quiet strength. Though Rahaman rarely sought attention, the stories he shared were valuable to historians, fans, and future generations who longed to know not just the public face of Muhammad Ali, but the private man behind the myth. Rahaman provided that window. He reminded us that behind every legend is a life, a childhood, a family. He gave us not just anecdotes but insights. Not just memories, but wisdom. In a world where celebrity often distorts reality, Rahaman Ali grounded the legend of Muhammad Ali in truth. He made it relatable, human, and all the more inspiring. For that, and for so much more, he will be remembered with gratitude. As we await further information about his funeral arrangements, we are left to reflect not just on the life that has ended, but on the lives he touched. To the boxing world, he was a figure of quiet consistency. To his family, he was an anchor of love. And to the world, he now becomes a symbol of loyalty, of familial devotion, and of the enduring bond between brothers. Rahaman once said in an interview, "I never wanted to be Muhammad. I just wanted to be there for him." That one sentence says it all. It tells us everything we need to know about the man who just left us in the final chapter of his life. Rahaman Ali aged gracefully. He battled health challenges of his own, grew older with the dignity his family instilled in him, and spent his last years surrounded by those who loved him. He remained connected to his roots in Louisville, to the community that had watched both brothers grow from scrappy boys on the streets to men who would leave indelible marks on history. He was often seen at events commemorating his brother, sometimes wiping away a tear, sometimes smiling proudly. In those moments, you could see that Rahaman had found peace not in glory or accolades, but in the role he had so humbly and selflessly embraced all his life. He wasn't trying to chase the spotlight. He was holding it steady for his brother and for the legacy they both helped build. Now, that light shines for him, and rightly so. Rest in peace, Rahaman Ali. Your journey was quiet, but it was not unnoticed. Your love was deep, your loyalty unmatched. And now, reunited with your beloved brother, you have taken your rightful place in the story of one of the greatest family legacies ever told. You were the heartbeat behind the thunder, the calm behind the storm, the quiet keeper of a legacy that changed the world. May you rest in eternal peace, embraced once again by your brother, your parents, and the love that shaped you. Your story, Rahaman, is one we will not forget.